Good evening and welcome. My name is Allison Picott, and I am proud to be Lenny Zakem Fund's Executive Director. So again, what a great way to kick off this evening and for us to celebrate the Lunar New Year. Each year, I look forward to this special evening and the opportunity to come together and publicly celebrate you, LZF's amazing grassroots organization partners. And although tonight is about you, I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to remember our founder, Lenny Zakem, as tonight also marks the kickoff of our 30th anniversary year. Lenny founded this organization inspired by the belief that extraordinary social change could be created at the grassroots level. A devoted and passionate civil rights leader, Lenny, knew firsthand that grassroots organizations and their leaders had the will and creativity, but they lacked the necessary means to effectively address the racial, social, and economic injustices impacting the members of their community. And since 1995, the Lenny Zakem Fund has been committed to providing grassroots organizations and their leaders with the grants and capacity building resources to advance positive social change in communities throughout Eastern Massachusetts. Would you please join me in a round of applause to thank Lenny. Thank you. So tonight we honor 53 incredible grassroots organizations that make up our 2025 grantee portfolio. 46 are renewal grantees or returning grantee partner organizations, and 7 are new to our portfolio. This year, we awarded a total of $678,000 in grants. The average grant size, thank you. The average grant size being just under $13,000. This evening, you will hear from leaders of 2 of our grassroots partners, Cassandra Brando from Gratis Healthcare, and Joan Ilacqua from the History Project documenting LGBTQ Boston, who will talk about their respective organizations and the important work each are doing in their communities. You will also be treated to a second performance from Rice Ma, a fan dance troupe who will be performing later on this evening. But before we continue with our celebration, I would like to take a moment to talk about a recent trip that I took to Montgomery, Alabama. While there, I had the privilege of meeting and hearing from several people who shared firsthand accounts of their participation in and witness to moments in the civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s. They also shared some words of advice of how we might rise to meet and overcome the moment that we find ourselves facing today. One piece of advice was to look to and stay rooted in history as a source of inspiration, and to challenge disinformation and the rewriting of history. Later on that week, I had the opportunity to visit the Legacy Museum, and while there, I spent some time in the reflection space, which honors some of the many individuals who have led the fight against racial injustice in the United States, from the first abolitionists fighting to end slavery to the youth activists of today. One of those people honored is Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who is known as the father of Black history. Dr. Woodson was born in 1875, the son of former slaves, and devoted his adult life to working to make African American history and studies a legitimate and critical part of American history. The following is a quote from Dr. Woodson. "If a race has no history, if it has no worthwhile tradition, it becomes a negligible factor in the thought of the world, and it stands in danger of being exterminated." In February 1926, Dr. Woodson initiated the celebration of Negro History Week, which is a precursor to what we know today as Black History Month. The reason why Dr. Woodson particularly stood out to me among all the amazing, incredible historic figures in that room is that he happens to be one of my ancestors. He's a relative on my father's side of the family. And what makes my connection to him even more meaningful is that my great uncle, Rupert Picott, was instrumental in directly lobbying President Ford to formally recognize February as Black History Month. And thank you. And that is something President Ford did on February 10th, 1976. A decade later, in 1986, Congress passed a public law designating February as National Black History Month. But as we all are currently witnessing and experiencing, there is a concerted effort to make life very difficult for most, if not all of us in the room this evening, and those in the communities whom we care about and devote work in serving. In some cases, they are literally trying to erase people's very identity and to not deny us the honor of celebrating our cherished histories. We cannot and we must not let this happen. So tonight, let us each look to and stay rooted in our history as a source of inspiration and to challenge the disinformation and the rewriting of our history. Let this serve as a call to action to the nearly 400 organizations that LZF has been proud in partnering with since 1995 to come together, to form a coalition, to be supportive of one another and a resource to one another. On your tables, you will see note cards and pens. I encourage you to please use them to let us know not only what your organizations are experiencing in terms of challenges or your needs, but also what, if anything, your organization might be able to offer to a fellow organization that might help them. Let us know what questions or concerns you have so that we may endeavor to find ways to come together and be supportive of one another. And finally, I'd like to end my remarks focusing on love, as love, not hate, is at the center of the work that the Lenny Zakem Fund and all of you all do here. And love is, in my opinion, the only way we can move forward. As tomorrow is Valentine's Day, which also happens to be my birthday. Thank you. Thank you. I usually don't admit that, but I'm trying to own my birthday. So I'd like to take a moment and hand out my own Valentines and expressions of personal thanks. First and foremost to the members of Lenny Zakem's Board of Directors, our staff, Madeline, Carla, Claire, and Maggie, with whom this could not have been possibility, our volunteers, Heidi and Melissa, our 2025 Community Investments Committee members and site visitors, our bridge builders, our Maritime board members, Susie Cates and Ellie Starr, who are with us tonight. Our former grantee partners, some of whom are with us tonight, thank you for being here as well. Special thanks tonight to our speakers and performers, as I mentioned before, Cassandra, Joan, the lion and the fan dancers of Rice-Ma and their team, our photographer, videographer, AV team, Spanish and ASL interpreters, the Royal Sonesta for hosting us once again, and for your devoted, hardworking catering team. And to this evening's sponsors and valued community partners, I would like to especially recognize the Freeze Family Foundation for once again sponsoring tonight's event, and to Temple B'nai Israel, Deborah, for your incredible gift to the fund. I would like to acknowledge and thank Debbie Cherry, representative from the Temple, for being with us here tonight. Finally, to our donors who have so graciously supported us with your gifts, some of whom have been doing that since Lenny founded the Lenny Zakem Fund 30 years ago. As a charitable nonprofit organization, we rely 100% on philanthropy. There's no way we would be here tonight and able to support these 53 amazing organizations without your support. And finally, I would like to end with this quote. I found it today. It's from Jimi Hendrix, which I don't think I've ever quoted before, but I think it really speaks volumes. When power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And so that, I would like to invite my colleague Madeline Vining to the stage. Thank you so much. And everybody was in tune. I also saw Charlene Merrill Smith sneak in, so thank you, Charlene, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Allison, and happy birthday. Good evening. For those of you whom I've hadn't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Madeline Vining, and last June I joined the Lenny Zakem Fund as the fund's grant administrator. The 2025 grant cycle was my first with the fund, and it was truly an impactful experience. I was uplifted, energized, and inspired by the incredible organizations applying for our support. I'm deeply grateful to be here with all of you tonight. It's an honor to be in partnership with the important work that our grantee partners do as grassroots organizations addressing social inequities and making positive change within our Eastern Massachusetts communities. Looking forward to the rest of the year, I'm excited to continue connecting, collaborating with, and getting to know both our new and returning grantee partners. I'm looking forward to attending your events, meeting you for coffee, and generally being in community with you as much as possible to celebrate and advance our partnership. Getting back to tonight and the reason why we are all here, I want to say how wonderful it is to be part of this year's annual award ceremony, the first of which I hope will be many for me. I am delighted to announce the first of 7 funding categories of grant recipients for 2025 in access to food, housing, and economic opportunity. As I read the names of each grant recipient, I invite you to stand or wave from your seat. I also ask that everyone please hold your applause until the last organization's name has been read. Our grantee partners are Together We Eat, Code Squad, East Boston Community Soup Kitchen, Lamplight Women's Literacy Center, Mercy Meals and More, New Lynn Coalition, Reclaim Roxbury, the Upward Project. Congratulations. And our 2025 grantee partners in the funding category of Child and Youth Development and Education are Bryce's Journey, Cape Ann Art Haven, Circus Up, City Strings United, Cultural Exchange Through Soccer, Definitely, Joy Weavers, Code Connect, My Brother's Keeper 617, Pride Productions, Sisters Unchained, Somali Parents Advocacy Center for Education, Teen Just Us at Temple Israel of Boston, and Vongte Cha Mi Viet, also known as Circle of Vietnamese Parents. Congratulations to you all as well. And now it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage Felicia Haywood, LZF's board chair and co-chair of our Community Investments Committee.
Good evening, everyone. As Madeline said, my name is Felicia Haywood. My pronouns are the she series, and I am incredibly honored to have been elected the chair of the board of the Lenny Zakim Fund this year. I have served with the Lenny Zakim Fund for 4 years as a co-chair of the Community Investments Committee with Mark Irving, my partner. This is the committee that reads all of your wonderful proposals and does the very, very challenging work of selecting our partners each year. I became involved with the fund in 2021 during the global pandemic, a time that seemed incredibly dark and without hope. That first year, reading all of the grant applications and seeing what amazing things people were up to and how they were continuing to believe in better tomorrows for our most vulnerable populations was incredibly inspiring. Each application seemed like a little dot of light in a very, very dark world. That continues to be my experience with each grant cycle. Every September, when we sit down and start reviewing our grants, I read them from a perspective of the first-time grantee partners and then join on site visits with a select number of applicants. When we finally have our grant review meeting in late January, which concludes with tonight's ceremony, I have been buoyed by the incredible work that you are all up to. Being involved in an organization like the Lenny Zakim Fund, whose only goal is to uplift and support those lights, has been my honor. I'm so proud to do this work in partnership with our dedicated staff, with the board, and with the many volunteers without whom this work simply could not happen. So thank you to those of you who are volunteers who are here tonight for reading and helping us make these selections. Today, as I find myself somehow leading the board at a time that feels equally as dark as that first year, I remain inspired by the work that you are all doing, by your continuing hope and your continuing stand for better tomorrows. So I thank you all.
I would like to introduce our first speaker this evening, Cassandra Brando of Gratis Healthcare. Founded in 2020 and located in Framingham, Gratis Healthcare removes barriers to basic health care and strives to connect patients to Massachusetts healthcare system and community resources. An LZF grantee partner since 2023, Gratis Healthcare strives to meet the growing need for access to basic health care for those communities that are uninsured or underinsured in the Metro West and Greater Boston area. Their volunteer clinicians work in partnership with Portuguese and Spanish interpreters to provide free medical and mental health services across multiple specialties and to those in need. I had an opportunity to participate in a site visit to Gratis Healthcare along with Felicia in the fall of 2022. And what I recall from the time I spent meeting with the volunteer doctors and Cassandra is their amazing passion and dedication. They spoke of patients almost reverently, the people who we get to see, being unbound by insurance constraints and really seeing the difference they are making is their religion. They are supported by people from the community who know the community, and they know the community, and they are then their clients as true valued partners. No one slips through the cracks. Before we hear from Cassandra, I invite you to watch this video of Gratis Healthcare in action. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cassandra Brandão, and I'm honored to stand here before you as the Vice President of Gratis Healthcare. First, a heartfelt thank you to the Lansing Foundation, not only for supporting Gratis, but also for believing in the power of compassion and community to change lives. As you saw in the video, Gratis Health is about making healthcare accessible for those who need the most. But in reality, it's way more than that. It's about providing help. It's about creating hope for all. My journey with Gratis began back in 2008, but my personal story, it started a year earlier when I moved from Brazil to the US. I was 21 years old. I was navigating a new country, a new language, a new culture. It was extremely overwhelming. A year later, I found myself in need of a doctor. I was scared, alone, and of course, vulnerable. But then I found a nonprofit clinic that welcomed me, not just as a patient, but as a person. I will never forget how I felt that day, because I felt like I mattered. After my appointment, the clinic asked if I could be an interpreter, if I could help them. My first thought was, me? What? What can I offer? I'm an immigrant. My English is broken. I'm still trying to figure things out. But I gave it a shot. Even with my imperfect English, I was able to help someone else. That moment changed everything. Volunteering as an interpreter opened my eyes to something that I haven't realized before, a deep love for helping others, for supporting strangers who, in many ways, were just like me. There is something incredibly powerful about giving your time, your energy, and your heart simply because you can, and you're not expecting anything in return. Over time, that love grew. I became more connected with Gratz Health and the incredible people behind it. I saw firsthand how our work made a difference, not just in numbers, but in real life we touched. And now, almost 15, 20, do the math, I'm nervous. I stand here as the Vice President of Gratz Health. Thank you. Thank you. From being a young immigrant in need of care to someone who helps others every single day, the life has come to a full circle. My journey is proof that what happens when we lead with compassion. It's the proof that when we believe in people, we don't just change life, we create hope. This journey also remembers me of the true beauty of the real American dream. The one that is not just about one individual success. It's about community, generosity, and the people who show up for one another. Today, I'm not only one of the leaders of Gratz Health, but I'm a business owner. I built an award-winning design company, and I'm very proud to be a successful story. But none of this would have been possible if, when I was at my vulnerable, someone out there, someone just like you here today, hadn't been there to help me. That's the power of what we do. We don't just give resources, we give hope. You create opportunity for people just like me, not just to survive, but to thrive. So tonight, I want to thank you, all the donors, every single nonprofit out here and out there, the supporters, and the amazing Lenny Zankin Foundation for believing in the power of the community, for believing in people like me. Let's celebrate this night together. Thank you.
Thank you, Cassandra. Your story is truly an inspiration. My name is Elizabeth May, and I serve on LZF's board as a Babson Board Fellow and also as a member of the Community Investment Committee. The Babson Board Fellowship Program places MBA students and alumni as non-voting members of Boston area nonprofit boards for 8 months, during which time fellows gain board experience while boards benefit from Babson students' leadership and insights. I joined LZF's board in September and have spent the last 5 months as a member of the Community Investments Committee, reviewing grant applications and conducting site visits as part of LZF's 2025 annual grant cycle. This experience has been incredibly eye-opening for me. More than anything, it has reinforced that our organizational partners are the true experts. While LZF provides support where possible, we see ourselves as supporting partners in this work. You are the true leaders leading the way. And now, it is my sincere pleasure to announce our 2025 Civil and Human Rights Advocacy and Support Grantee Partners. When your names are read, please stand and wave or wave from your seat, or do whatever you want, so we can all honor you. They are Neighbors United for a Better East Boston, Pleasant Street Neighborhood Network Center, and Right to the City Boston. Congratulations. And next, it is my honor tonight to introduce our 2025 grantees in health promotion and accessibility for all. When your names are read, again, please stand and wave, or wave from your seat, or do whatever you like so we can all honor you. I also ask that everybody hold your applause until the last name has been read. They are Community Caring Clinic, Dee Dee's Cry, Suicide Prevention and Family Support, Gratis Healthcare, Neighborhood Counseling and Community Services, SCI Boston, the Heart of a Giant Foundation, Think Outside the Box, and Urban Powerhouse. Congratulations, everybody. And now, please join me in welcoming Mark Irvings, co-chair of the CIC committee, to the stage.
Did you mention New England Medical Associates?
No, I didn't have that moment.
It's not there.
I did. I missed New England Medical Association. My apologies. Sorry about that. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I am Mark Irvings. I'm a member of the LZF board since 2019. And for the last 4 years, I've been honored to be the co-chair of the Community Investments Committee, our Grants Committee, with Felicia. It's a privilege and pleasure to work with my fellow board members, volunteers, and staff in our annual grant cycle that introduces us to the incredible organizations, only a very small portion of which we have the capacity to fund. One such organization is Refugees and Immigrants Cultural Empowerment, Massachusetts. You've met the first group, the dancers of RISMA. Their mission is to preserve the culture of refugee and immigrant communities through performance art and education, while deepening individual connections to their heritage and to the community and contributing to the American experience. 2 years ago, I had the pleasure of doing the site visit to RISMA in Worcester as part of the annual grant cycle. There I met with Boa Newgate and Holly Ashton, RISMA's co-directors, both incredible people whose passion for and commitment to their work was immediately evident. While there, I also met some of the RISMA youth who came from school to practice both the fan dancing and the dragon dancing. The dragon dancing you've seen. It was a memorable site visit, as you can imagine. I have to also say someone brought incredible spring rolls. It was an added bonus for the site visit. It is one of the things in the grant cycle, the site visits are such a pleasure to do because you get to see firsthand the work that's being accomplished. When I saw the dancers, I have to say my reaction was, these folks are going to make for a great entertainment at an awards ceremony, and that's in fact what they did. You will get to see after a video, the fan dancing, and you will get to appreciate and see these performances that they do all over. I might also mention they do an incredible Lunar New Year celebration. If you ever have the opportunity to get to Worcester for it, it's quite amazing. I'd like to especially thank Hai Nguyen, the Youth Program Director, Crystal Nguyen, the Culture Dance Instructor and Choreographer, and Felix Aponte Hernandez, the Dance Instructor and Choreographer. So before the fan dancers take the stage, I believe there is a video that you will be seeing. Thank you very much.
Nếu lúc đó em không buông tay, nếu lúc đó em không lung lay, nếu lúc đó ta không trốn chạy, không giấu những thứ không muốn nhau thấy. Nếu lúc đó mình đặt lên nhau, nụ hôn đắm đuối như thế lần đầu. Nếu lúc đó mình đừng giả vờ, vừa như mọi thứ không làm mình đau. Nếu lúc đó thế giới đừng quá ác độc về hai đứa nhau, không thể cho phép mình yêu lòng vì quá quen việc phải gay gao. Những vết cắt chữa lành được rồi lại gồng mình chẳng còn biết khóc. Và nếu em không, và nếu em không, và nếu lúc đó em không ám ảnh một ngày anh sẽ biến mất. Và nếu lúc đó anh cho em thấy em luôn là người duy nhất. Và nếu lúc đó mà em tin anh, mà anh tin em, mà ta tin nhau, liệu mình sẽ còn ở bên nhau, liệu mình sẽ còn ở bên nhau. Và mỗi khi nghe thấy tên nhau, liệu mình đang còn đắm say như ngày đầu tiên mình đến bên nhau. Ngày em đã thức hàng đêm đừng nguyện cầu, ngày em tự hứa dù có thế nào em sẽ vẫn yêu anh. Liệu mình còn yêu nếu lúc đó ta không buông tay. Nếu lúc đó ta không trốn chạy. Và nếu lúc đó mình đừng như thế. Có lẽ nhưng có.
The rest that seems. Just lighting.
Just making sure we're keeping it moving. Come on up. Nice, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah Seidel, and it is a pleasure to stand here with you tonight and to see the wonderful work that Reisma is doing. I was with Mark on that site visit. I don't remember the spring rolls. Someone at my table suggested maybe you sort of cornered the market on them. But I do remember how wonderful it was to see a group that was so committed to preserving the culture of a community that they had physically left but wanted to maintain their contact with. I'm thrilled also that the leaders of RISMA have managed to continue doing everything they're doing and still take advantage on a very in-depth level of all the assistance that Lenny Zakem can provide in terms of technical support and training. Like many of others here tonight, my personal journey with the Lenny Zakem Fund began as a member of the Community Investments Committee. It was my introduction to Boston, having just recently moved here from New York, and it has been from the beginning my greatest learning experience about my new home. After the Community Investments first year, I had the privilege of facilitating a weekly program called Office Hours, a resource that I encourage you all to take advantage of. It's a space for us to discuss any aspect of organizational nonprofit management that's affecting you or your organization. And then just a year ago, I was honored to be asked to join the Lenny Zakem board. I love the Lenny Zakem Fund. Its mission, the organizations it supports, and the values it upholds. In these uncertain times, people often ask, what can we do? For me, the answer is clear. We can work close to home to make our communities better. That's exactly what each of you is doing. And now it is my pleasure to announce our LGBTQIA Community Support and Organizing Grantee Partners for 2025. They are Boston Lesbi Gay Urban Foundation, Outstanding Life, the History Project, documenting LGBTQ Boston, and Translate Gender. Every year, I am absolutely blown away by the incredible work being done by so many of our community members, meeting the needs of the underserved and the underrepresented. One such organization is the History Project, documenting LGBTQ Boston, which has been an LZF grantee partner since 2024. I'm dating myself. Founded in 1980, that comes off the tongue easily. The History Project is one of the largest independent LGBTQ archives in the nation, with more than 250 collections and over 1 million documents from organizations and individuals. THP offers outreach activities such as film screenings and exhibitions to engage anyone interested in LGBTQ+ history in Greater Boston. I first was introduced to the History Project during the LZF Fund grant application process, when I was fortunate to be a member of the site visit team. What impressed me most was their seriousness of purpose, their understanding of the importance of documenting and sharing the history of the LGBTQ+ community in our region, and their openness to trying new programs and engaging new people. By helping to spread knowledge about the LGBTQ community to the History Project simultaneously is helping to empower the members of that community and reduce the prejudice that comes from lack of contact and lack of knowledge. Tonight, I am delighted that you will hear from the Executive Director, Joan Ilacqua, the History Project's first and current Executive Director. First, please direct your attention to the screen for a video about the History Project. Now join me in welcoming Joan. I'm so glad to see you.
It's so good to see you. Thank you. Oh, Deborah. I'm just going to hit Deborah, get this party going. Thank you so much for the very lovely introduction and for having me here tonight. I'm Joan Ilacqua, and I am the Executive Director of the History Project, and we are Massachusetts Queer Community Archives. We made Deborah say LGBTQ about 1 million times, so I'm just going to say it all out loud now. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer community. I feel like it's important to say those words out loud. So, at the History Project, we celebrate the past, present, and future of Boston's queer community through our collections, collaborations, and education. Our work has been community-driven since 1980, and we, as queer and trans people ourselves, preserve the stories of LGBTQ+ activists and organizations. We continue to share the stories that are still on the margins of history. I'm really thankful for organizations like the Lenny Zakem Fund, who see our need for support, but also understand that knowing our history makes us stronger, and that knowing our history inspires us in the ongoing fight for equality for all. I'm also thankful for the mentorship and community that the Lenny Zakem Fund has created for its grantees. Here's a plug for office hours, they're great. Being in community and conversation with organizers and activists across all of our battles creates a solidarity that benefits all of us and shows us that none of us are alone in this fight. As you know, across the country, so many marginalized communities, including the LGBTQ+ community, and especially the transgender community, are under attack. We are all facing the uncertainty, challenges, and threats brought on by this new administration, but together we will survive and we will thrive by finding strength, inspiration, and joy in our queer and trans stories and histories. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joan, for your inspiration. Hello, my name is Joyce Zakum, and this is my granddaughter, Lila, who wants to join me tonight. Do you want to come over here, Lila? Okay. And I am a member of the Lenny Zakum Fund Board of Directors. 30 years ago, after Lenny was diagnosed with cancer, our friends wanted to honor him in some meaningful way. He chose to create a fund initially called the Lenny Fund to further his long-term commitment to lifting up people and building bridges among communities. I can say with great joy that it is in this spirit that over the past 30 years, LZF has exponentially expanded its reach and partnered with hundreds of grassroots organizations. We have done and will continue to do what Lenny set out to accomplish. As a nonprofit charitable organization, LZF relies on 100% philanthropy to fund our work each year. In addition to thanking the many generous donors who support us each year, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank one in particular, the former Temple B'nai Israel of Revere, who in 2023 made an incredible gift to the Lenny Zakum Fund. Yes. Thank you again and again. Established in 1906, the Beachmont neighborhood of Revere, Temple B'nai Israel made the distinction of being one of the oldest original synagogues in Massachusetts. My family and I, along with numerous others who are also connected with the Lenny Zakum Fund, worshiped at Temple B'nai Israel over the years. In 2019, when Temple B'nai Israel made the decision to close its doors, they chose to gift the proceeds from the sale of the former temple building to LZF, to establish an endowed fund that would provide grant funding to grassroots organizations in Revere, Chelsea, Lynn, and along the North Shore, who share the temple's and LZF's strong commitment to social justice. Last year was the first year that LZF awarded grants funded by Temple B'nai Israel's gift. This year, those same 4 grantee partners will once again benefit from Temple B'nai Israel's generosity. They are East Boston Community Soup Kitchen, Neighbors United for a Better East Boston, New Lynn Coalition, and Open Door Immigration Services. Congratulations to you all. On behalf of the Lenny Zakum Fund and our Board of Directors, I'd like to express our eternal gratitude to Debbie Cherry, who is here with us tonight. Thank you, Debbie. Raise your hand. There's Debbie. She's the former president of Temple B'nai Israel, and she's the one that made it happen. Thank you. So on behalf of the entire Zakum family, my children Josh, Dina, Shari, Peter, and Jesse and Phil, and our granddaughters Lila and Fiona, I'd like to congratulate the 53 grassroots organizations who make up this year's grantee portfolio for your hard work and dedication to advancing social, economic, and racial justice in your communities. I'd also like to thank those who are in the room tonight and those who are not able to join us, who help make the important work that the Lenny Zakum Fund does, and in turn make possible the work of our grantee partners. It is because of your collective efforts year in and year out that Lenny's vision to make the world a better, more inclusive, and respectful place for all people is closer to reality today than when he founded the fund 30 years ago. Thank you, and I now turn the microphone over to LZF board member April Wallace.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I'm so excited to be here. So I'm going to go off script, but people who work with me know that. So I love being here. I love being here so much. I just moved to another state, and I love the work that this organization does so much that I refuse to give up my board seat. And then, no, I was welcome to stay, and I'm here, so that's why you see the smile. So thank you so much, Joyce. It's wonderful, again, to be with everyone here tonight. I am so honored and excited to introduce the grantees this evening. Thank you to LZF for this opportunity and for allowing me to stay on the board. My involvement with the Lenny Zakem Fund actually began through a former coworker at the Greater Boston Food Bank, where I served as an executive there before I moved. I was seeking an opportunity to join an organization and support an organization that was very, very meaningful to me, and there's so many organizations in the Boston area. I also wanted to find an organization that matched with my passion for some additional personal growth. Interestingly enough, the Greater Boston Food Bank itself was a very early recipient of an LZF grant. So as soon as I was introduced to the organization, I thought that there was already something there for me. It has been beyond a privilege to support grantee partners as they navigate the complexities of employment law. I have a few partners that I've co-facilitated some sessions with, and I've also had an opportunity to speak individually and separately with many grantees over the last few years. I have had an amazing time and opportunity to blend my professional expertise with my commitment to service, and the experience has been both meaningful and deeply rewarding. And now, with the CIC having made their final decisions, it is wonderful to be here, to be able to share grantee partners for 2025 this evening and announce specifically the 2025 grantee partners organizing and support for immigrants and refugees. They are, drum roll, African Community Center of Lowell. It's okay, it's the end, so we can ignore the rules. Brockton Workers Alliance, Eritrean American Civic Association, Mount Olives Community Center, Nigerian American Multi-Service Association, Open Door Immigration Services, P&O Behavioral Health Initiative, Refugees and Immigrants Cultural Empowerment Massachusetts, Revive in Action, South Boston and Action. Congratulations. And then last but certainly not least, please join me in celebrating the 2025 grantee partners in the 7th and final funding category, violence prevention, criminal justice reform, and family outreach. They are 365 Dad, I Have a Future, Love Life Now Foundation, Our Deaf Survivor Center, the Dream Network. Congratulations to all of you and all of our 53 grantee partners for 2025. And now I will bring back up the birthday girl, Allison, for closing remarks.
Thank you. Well, this is a wonderful way for me to be able to kick off my birthday celebration tomorrow. And I just want to congratulate our grantee partners one final time, to thank you all for being with us tonight. I know we ran a few minutes over, but I think the performances and the videos and the speeches inspired all of us tonight. I would ask you to put a date on your calendar, and that's September 6th. We will be hosting our 30th anniversary Light the Night event at Alcove, which is right near the Zachem Bridge. And so you'll be hearing and seeing more information about that in the weeks and months to come. Although our formal program is over, and we're a little bit past time, you're certainly welcome to stay and socialize a little bit. I would like to invite to the stage Debbie Cherry and the 4 organizations that are beneficiaries of Temple B'nai Israel so we could get a group photo. And with that, I just want to wish you all a wonderful evening, safe travels home, and I look forward to working shoulder to shoulder with each and every one of you in the year ahead. So thank you all. Good night.